All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful tales from Greek mythology, the story of King Midas. You've probably heard of him, right? Well, his story is this timeless lesson on the true cost of greed. And believe me, it all kicks off with one simple, insatiable desire.
And this right here, this line, is everything. It's the key to the whole story. I mean, think about it. This guy, King Midas, he had it all. Palaces, treasures, a whole kingdom. But none of it mattered. His soul was just eaten up by this need for more. This one thought sets the stage for a wish that's going to turn his entire world upside down.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're in the ancient kingdom of Phrygia, and we've got this king, Midas, who is swimming in wealth, but it brings him zero joy, no satisfaction at all. Why? Well, his entire being was defined by one thing: avarice.
And what is avarice, really? The myth shows us so beautifully. For Midas, it's not just some personality quirk. No, it's like this living, breathing thing inside him, a devouring force, a hunger that you could throw all the money in the world at and it would never, ever be full.
I mean, just picture this. This guy spends his nights literally counting coins, and his days just dreaming about these giant mountains of yellow metal reaching up to the sky. He's not enjoying any of his wealth, right? He's a slave to it. He's not thinking about love or happiness, just cold, hard metal. And it's this exact mindset that's about to lead him straight to a life-changing encounter.
And then, bam, it happens. That fateful encounter comes completely out of the blue. It all starts with a simple act of kindness, believe it or not. He helps out this guy, Silenus, who just so happens to be a buddy of the god Dionysus. And this one good deed opens the door to the very opportunity Midas has been dreaming about his whole life.
So this is it, the ultimate test. Dionysus is so grateful that he basically gives Midas a blank check. You can have one wish, he says, anything you desire. Now for a guy like Midas, a man completely consumed by one single obsession, well, there's really only one thing he could possibly ask for, isn't there? He doesn't even hesitate, not for a second. His greed just blurts it out. And the story is so great here because it says Dionysus just gives him this sad little smile. He grants the wish, but he already knows the brutal lesson that Midas is about to learn the hard way.
And at first, oh man, it's pure bliss. Midas is just running around his palace like a kid in a candy store, completely ecstatic. He's testing out his new power, laughing like a maniac as everything around him turns into this golden monument to his own greed.
He picks up a regular old stone, and boom, it's shimmering solid gold. This is real. The power is actually real.
Then he goes to his garden, touches a beautiful, delicate flower, and its life just vanishes, frozen forever in a cold metallic sheen. Even the statues in his halls aren't safe. He's just tearing through the palace, screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'm the richest man in the world!" But you know this can't last. And that joy? It's about to come to a screeching, horrifying halt. And the crash is brutal. It's immediate. You see, the promise of the golden touch was all about wealth, power, ecstasy, but the reality, hunger, thirst, despair. He tries to sit down for a meal, right? But the bread turns to metal in his hands. The wine turns to liquid gold in his cup. The very things he needs to survive are now completely off limits, all because of his own gift. And this is really the tragic heart of the story. Can you imagine? Midas is literally starving to death, but he's surrounded by a fortune of useless gold. That pure joy he felt just moments ago, it's completely soured into pure, raw desperation.
So here's the question we have to ask. In his manic rush to turn everything he owned into gold, what was the one true treasure in his life that he hadn't touched? Yet.
You guessed it, his daughter. She hears him crying out in despair, and she runs to him, to hug him, to comfort him. And in that moment of agony, his cursed hands touch her, and just like that, she's gone, transformed into a silent, cold, golden statue, that loving look on her face frozen for all time. This is it. This is the moment his greed costs him literally everything.
Losing his daughter like that, it just shatters him. His greed, his obsession, it all just evaporates. As he's holding this golden statue that used to be his child, he finally understands the true horror of what he wished for. And he just breaks down, begging for mercy.
He runs. He flees his palace, which is now just a golden prison, and races to the river Pactolus. He's screaming, pleading with Dionysus to take it all back,
to undo this horrible mistake. And Dionysus, seeing that Midas is truly, genuinely sorry, tells him what to do. Wash your hands in the river. And as he does, the curse literally flows out of him and into the water. And, the legend says that's why the river has run with golden sand ever since.
So he goes home a changed man, and he comes back with this simple, profound piece of wisdom that he learned through just unimaginable suffering. It's this realization: I almost lost everything because I wanted everything.
Okay, so what are we supposed to take away from all this? What's the point of this incredible ancient story? What is it trying to tell us about what true wealth really is?
Well, the lessons are pretty crystal clear, aren't they? First, greed doesn't make you rich. It actually makes you poor. In spirit, in relationships, in life itself. Second, wanting way more than you need always ends up costing you the things that truly matter. And finally, life's most essential gifts, food, water, love, those are the things that are actually priceless.
So the myth brings us to this really powerful conclusion. True wealth, the real stuff, it's the things you can't touch. Love, wisdom, happiness. You can't turn them into gold, which means greed can never destroy them. They're the only treasures we have that can actually last forever.
And so this ancient story leaves us with a question that's just as important today as it was thousands of years ago. We live in a world that's constantly telling us to measure success by what we own. But the story of Midas, it forces us to stop and look inside and really ask ourselves, what is true wealth? For you,